So I have a primitive guitar, synth. Basically, this section here is the guitar, and this section here is the additional dub sounds, which is the point of the instrument. The point of the instrument is not to create or simulate a guitar, but rather take the attributes and the articulation concepts of the guitar and the engineering of the guitar and sort of apply that to the idea of dubbing in synthesis. So anyways, here's an example. So using a morph, I have the volume kind of low, so it's not quite bassy, but using a morph in the center here, I can bridge these two, and I can control the ratio of the bridge of the dub between the two of these instruments. And there's so much you can do in terms of coloration of the tone, and there's so many sections where you can apply different kinds of frequency emphasis. You could do transient frequency emphasis. You could do, EQ based frequency emphasis. You could do modeling of cabinets. There's so many things you can do to change the character of the, let's say, the guitar section alone. And what we're trying to do here is basically simulate the idea of pickup switching, the idea of the strumming of the guitar. So when I'm strumming here, there's a very subtle vibrato and there's a very subtle release sound. And so because this is physical modeling, I can use this string system and I can adjust the amount of various parameters. And so in here I also have the additional vibrato, which I additionally set up so that I can change the amount of vibrato. You can additionally adjust the rate, you can adjust the depth of the vibrato. It goes on and on. So this is the actual building block of the guitar, which is this one particular module right here. So if I select this, we go to the cabinet. If I select this, we go to the amp. And so with these, I'm actually simulating the idea of the pickup. So in the cabinet here, I can adjust this slope of this frequency range of this impulse response, and that changes like what I would call the pickup. This is just an idea of kind of abstractly thinking of how these things work. And in reality, you could pretty quickly develop some sort of device inside of things like M-Sound Factory to simulate the idea of this new generation of keytar, syntar, X-riff guitar, guitar synth based idea. And the point of the guitar synth is that the way the guitar signal is processed is so different than how you process the regular just static MIDI. The MIDI is incredible, but when you're adding this dynamic of this like acoustic electric thing going on with the guitar, each note that's strummed, the way it's drummed, it just goes on and on, like how different the profile is. For instance, just in this cabinet thing, so that's that section. We can hear how it adjusts this simulation of like where the microphone or the capturing device is picking up the signal. So that's the point of making this. It's not to really replicate anything in particular, but create the idea of this new form of lead synthesis sound. And ideally, you want to have your pluck sound, which is controlled by the pick, and you want to have some sort of dub sound. And so basically, you have an attack, and then you have this sustain. And those are the two fundamental parts. And then all the other stuff, such as how the release sounds, how the stuff in the middle sounds, how the mute sound. These are all additional bonus, ideas to think about. But there's so much more to think about with these kinds of things because, it goes on and on with the intrinsic intricacies of these things. So that's just the basic building block of how to do this in a sort of physical modeling and simulations of microphone picking up the cabinets of the pickups and whatnot. Just it's an abstract idea to simulate this, and then you can, of course, because of this is modular, You can add stacks and stacks and stacks of stuff, so long as it's all going through the Morph and the blender. Because really, that's another key point of this is the spectral blender. You need some sort of blending device so that you can change how to, dub in what you want. So if I go, that's the middle, and that's the full dry sound, and that's what I'm blending in. And I did not even realize that, it's so noisy. But that's just to give an idea. And when you blend them together, you're getting that additional kick, that little kickback, if you will, of the tonal combination. And so the magic is in the dub through the spectral blender as well. So we have A, B, C, if you want to think of it like that. You need all those components to sort of create this new generation of lead.